Hey everybody, welcome back to Illiterate Book Club. I am Matt.
I'm John.
And this is going to be our review of Current Wars.
Yes, that was the name of the movie.
That was.
We just saw it.
We did just see it. And so what are your overall thoughts on the movie?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it's inspired by true events. Mostly just sort of like a historical fiction.
Yeah.
It's not really a fiction. It tells like a brief overview of the story, I think.
Right, which, I mean, I think they kind of have to kind of keep a congruent story.
I mean, and you're talking about something that happened over many years with many different players and a lot of complicated stuff. So given all of that, I think they did a pretty good job of representing who all was involved, the major players.
Right.
A lot of it seemed to focus on Edison.
Yeah.
Most part. But you also had...
it was actually Westinghouse and Edison more than Tesla.
Westinghouse.
Oh, sorry. Westinghouse. I was thinking...
Yeah, Tesla was there, but he just sort of popped up. And, that kind of is the case for the truth of the matter. But at the same time, the weight of his contributions to the science of it
was kind of overlooked a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. They kind of tried to put it in there, and tried to show his grasp of everything.
Right.
But it was a pretty fast-paced movie overall, so it didn't have time to really dig deep into some of these things.
And I think a lot of time, I think the more well-known, more established actors were playing. Like Benedict Cumberbatch, he's playing Edison, so I feel like he. That's where a lot of the central, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is pretty good. I mean, just on a visual thing, a lot of really crisp, sharp images, well designed, really capturing the sort of style of this era of the late 1800s. It
did make you really feel like you were in that time period, which it was actually kind of funny because it being Benedict Cumberbatch, it reminded you a little bit of Sherlock Holmes. A little, his character.
I mean, that was the same era for like the original character Holmes.
Right. And a little bit of it. There was definitely. I mean, obviously it's a different character, but at the same time, there was definitely some overlap. I think.
Yeah.
Of what he's
intelligence, high performer, that kind of thing.
Arrogance.
It's really quirky in certain ways.
So I guess. Acting, we kind of covered that. Acting overall, we feel was solid.
Yeah, I mean, there were great actors and good performances, I thought, for what it was. Now, I mean, it doesn't go really deep, as we said. It covers a lot of material, throughout the movie.
Right.
And so there isn't a whole lot of time spent in one scene, to me.
Yeah. No, there wasn't. It's funny because it was a long movie to a certain degree. I mean, it felt like it felt like it was a kind of a long movie. You could feel the length. At the same time, it kind of felt fast paced, but it was like there wasn't enough room to. I wish that they could have. I know that they condensed a lot into one thing. I wish that they could have, I guess, spread it out better, if that makes sense. Like somehow that they could have let scenes breathe more. I felt like there wasn't that much.
Yeah. Well, to me,
emotion.
We got into 10, 15 minutes in the movie, and I was like, this feels like a really long montage.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning, because it's just cut.
Yeah,
one thing after another. I mean, it's basically you just jump right into Edison's DC, and then trying to get AC, and then Edison doesn't like AC, but everyone AC's better, and then just the players involved, and him doing this, and then jumping over to these characters doing something different, and so there isn't enough time to really build tensions. There isn't a lot of dramatic tensions.
No, there's not, and I mean, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
I feel like, to a certain degree, it depends on what kind of movie you want to see. I guess coming off of the Joker, which is excellent with building tension and character development and things like that, I can see that this movie's not gonna. I don't believe it would be nominated or win any awards as far as that goes, as far as an artistic point of view. That being said, this is my more of my type of movie.
Yeah,
like I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, it's enjoyable for many reasons. I mean, like I said, the acting and the visuals, but also the history of it. Now, I don't know, like, since I haven't seen it with someone who isn't as familiar with the history, like, coming from my point of view, since I kind of know the history pretty well, coming into it, I enjoyed seeing how they, like, what they focused on. Yeah. You know, you can't put everything into it without making it a documentary.
That's true.
So just...
Which I've seen those. So
yeah,
it's like,
exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, having this, it was nice seeing them hit highlights and show these characters interacting and where all of the tensions really were. Yeah. For this type of story. So, I mean, it was enjoyable in that sense, coming at it from someone who knew. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know, if you don't know anything about this, whether or not you'll understand everything that's happening, or if it'll kind of lose you, because it is quick.
It is a quick movie, and I think that, I guess they were trying to make the history of it fun to a certain degree. I mean, it wasn't, and that's kind of, before we went into it, I kind of said, man, I hope it's really not too heavy of a drama, and it really wasn't.
No.
So for what I wanted to get out of it, I really enjoyed it. I do feel like there was, I don't remember, I think it was between, or like it maybe at the end of the second half or the beginning of the third act of the movie, it's something slogged down for a while. Like, it just didn't feel like much was going on. It just felt like they were...
Yeah, it does kind of towards the middle and the middle end slow down, and then you get this really focus on them, like, competing with the two types of electricity and selling them. Yeah. And so you have that kind of aspect where they really focus in on that for a bit.
Right, they focus in, but at the same time, I don't feel like they gave you... It's like... It was almost like they were telling you what was happening, like, oh, my stuff's better, but they didn't really try to explain what made it better
Right. They didn't get into the science of it. You know, they have characters referencing, and you have like a moment where Tesla's in a lecture, and he's kind of like pointing at charts and talking about it, but there's not a whole lot of big science terms put in there, and, at least not in a significant way.
Yeah, and maybe for the general audience, that's a better thing. And it was, like I said, I enjoyed the movie overall, but I guess I kind of felt like I would have liked a scene of interaction between them, like almost debating back and forth, rather than just kind of, and maybe that wasn't the historical
right. Instead of doing something where they're like
talking to news people or whatever, you know
right.
What I mean?
I mean, and this was like a publicity thing. Like the whole current wars was more about public opinion than it was about the science, because like a lot of things, I mean, you look throughout history for like VHS versus Betamax, or you know, HD, DVD, and Blu-ray kind of stuff, right? And, you know, the science you can look at, and one technology usually is better in some marked way than some other technology. It's all about public opinion.
That's true.
And so this was like a big thing about public opinion. So yeah, they kind of had this weird mix of kind of talking about science, but also being a little fixated on the public opinion part of it. Yeah. But I think, again, they went so fast that it didn't really let you sit with the scene and build dramatic tension between the different characters. You had it kind of there, but it didn't really build in the way that you would have maybe expected. Right.
Like, I felt like they gave you a pinch of everything and not a meal of anything. Definitely. It was like all appetizers to a certain
degree. And I think it's like something you've said with another movie is sort of, there was a part of me that kind of felt like it was almost watching a really long trailer. Right. I mean, this almost could have been like a really long trailer for what would be a good miniseries.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think it would have done better as a miniseries.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of material, and if you had these actors who were committed to it, to do like a 6 to 8 part miniseries where you dig in, this, I think the style and the writing would have worked, but for this movie, again, it's enjoyable for what it is, but if you're going in expecting really deep scenes, really high sort of dramatic tension,
Yeah.
That's not going to happen here.
No, it's not going to happen. So we've talked a lot about this. What would be a final score?
I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I'm kind of leaning towards a 7, but it's one of those that I enjoy it. I enjoy this story and this history and anything about this out there, because I think this is something that's neglected. Like, I think people should know about this. I mean, this is something that it's established something that's true today, and so
a lot
being
of
aware,
what we're talking to right now,
right? The cameras, the lights, everything, happened because of this history. So at least having an awareness of it out there, I think is good. So I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's not something I would go back to a lot.
Gotcha.
Like, maybe I would watch it once or twice, but it's not a big repeatable thing. And I think there are some things they probably could have done better from storytelling wise.
Right.
But just as a representation of history, I thought they did pretty good.
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to go much higher than that. I think I appreciate it a little bit more than you. Maybe I think a lot of my reviews kind of depend on my mood, and that's kind of somewhat of the movie. I agree that they could have done a lot better, but I guess I wasn't in the mood for a super heavy movie.
Sure.
So it worked out for me, and I knew quite a bit of the history, not all of it, but I knew quite a bit of it. So I was able to fill in the gaps where maybe the movie wouldn't or didn't. So I'll give it a solid 7.
Okay. So let us know what you think. Are you into the Edison-Tesla competition things, or do you not know anything about this history? Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. If you've seen this, how do you feel about it? Do you think it was justified?
And be sure to like and subscribe, and see you.
Bye.